Hey, good evening, everyone, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first installment in a series of the Talking Refrigerator. I hope this comes out well with this phone. Well, I guess I'll find out. Like in my last phone I had, I was a 9 plus. It was a defective 9 plus. It wasn't. I didn't bother retiring. I just worked for it. I kept it for a solid 3 or 4 years. It was decent. Otherwise, it was large. It was 9 plus. If you folks are familiar with the pluses, they're a little bigger, a little more cumbersome. And it was a decent phone. I use it for Uber Eats. I deliver Uber Eats, Uber X, DoorDash, DickDash. Yeah, all that shit. And oh, by the way, the time is 5:26 p.m. on the East Coast. True to my word, if you saw my last episode, I told you I'm just going to switch from video to audio. But I wanted you to have something to look at, so I thought you could look at my refrigerator, and we make the talking refrigerator. As a matter of fact, maybe I'll even decorate the refrigerator. Every day we'll put something on it, and we'll make it into the talking refrigerator. Why am I doing this? It's part of my transformation in blending my podcasting personality into my YouTube, Instagram personalities. I'm not so much into the video mode, folks. But I also felt it was important you see who I am as a person. I didn't feel I can't hide anymore. I'm not going to take those down. I will not, because you know what? Every day we change. We change appearance every day. You could look completely different. And this is the mode. This is the medium that I am most comfortable. This is where I want to be. I decided, in your journey, folks. Let's take a sip of coffee, folks. Hold on 1 second. In your journey, you will discover that as you cut away more and more, you're going to become more and more focused. It takes everybody goes their own rate. Some people at 20, they're streamlined. They want to be a doctor. I used to be a doctor hater. You listen to some of my podcast episodes. I hate on doctors. I get that way sometimes. I'm not kidding. I get fed up with everybody. I get fed up with people in general. I get tired of them. Anyway, listen, whatever it is. I just wanted to, this is what I'm into. I'm into the audio thing. I think we're going to do something that refrigerator. We're going to figure something creative out. But I'm not going to look in the camera anymore. You see what I look like. You know who I am. So you can identify, right? But I think I'm going to take this and grow this in another direction. This is the way I'm comfortable. This is how I relate to people. I learned this from a blind man. A blind man I used to talk to on amateur radio. Taught me a lot about community, because that's all he had. He couldn't look at people. Thank God, because there's not much to see when you see people today. Anyway, really, you're not missing much. The porch lights out. Elevator doesn't go to all floors, or whatever you want to call it. They're not working. It's register doesn't close. People are dense there. I try to stay off the road. I'm scared to be on the road. Everybody talks about guns. Yeah, I'm scared of guns too. But what about the people of the earth? The people on the road, the animals speeding 90 miles an hour, get out of my way, get out of my way, get out of my way. The people of the earth, that is domestic terrorism. That's people of the earth terrorism. That's wrong. It's being over. It looks like guns. That's why I stay after roads. I'm holed up in my apartment now, full time. I'm waiting for my Uber Eats bicycle delivery bag so I can go into town and hopefully make $25 a day. Well, I do this and vent all the time. Screw it anyway. I don't care. I don't want anybody to listen. I'm going to keep getting better and better, just sharpening my. You know what? Maybe they'll never hear me. I don't give a crap. I'll just keep delivering Uber and make videos for the rest of my life. It's fine. I don't expect to make any money doing this. I just wanted people to listen. That's all I wanted. Well, maybe a couple people to listen. Maybe 5 people. That's all. I don't ask for much anymore. Honestly, I look old. I don't like look. It feels kind of better now. I'm impressed with the voice world. I think I'm streaming away from YouTube. I'm going to a podcasting convention. It's coming up. And I'm getting into podcasting. The voice, you can go on and on. It doesn't matter what you look like. I have to do a vein anyway. F vanity. F face. That's it. I thank you. I just found myself in this episode. I found myself. I am not going to put my face. You know what I look like. You know who I am. Okay, fine. But I will not. I work with this guy at work. He was real upset one day. They towed the car. We work for the state. Yeah, the traffic cops. It was in Queens. They towed the state car, and I had to go with this guy to this island where they take cars, and like they're real callous. So when you work for the state, you think you get some privilege. No, you do a lot of callousness when you work for the government. I was a state worker. I remember we went there, and I remember my coworker, he was upset. He had to pay a $175 fee to the state, and I remember he just said, "I will not. I will not. I will." I don't know why I said I will not. I got so caught up in this story. I could do whatever I want to. Oh, I will not put my face in front of the camera. Maybe give maybe $1 million, maybe. But whatever. I'm saying I found myself. Thank you. Find yourself. Stay away from the video. I don't like Zoom. I don't like live comedy. I could just deal with maybe going into Wendy's with a Uber bag and saying I'm picking up an order for Tanisha or Derek or James or Scott. I'd rather be doing that and just leave it off. Mark delivered and go on to the next delivery. I was doing that for a while. I like that. I was living more of an urban area, but I'm working my way back there again. But now and then I'm looking at some low key jobs, less responsibility, not much driving. And then gradually get some better paying jobs. I'm going to look into the post office and maybe the TSA. Just got to clean my act up. Stopped. Eating the good stuff. I don't smoke anymore. Can't smoke. Don't drink. Drinking makes you tired. I just like my caffeine and my gummies. Is that much to ask at this point in life? Could be worse things. I don't eat much. Low carb diet. Avoid bread. Avoid pasta. With bread, avoid liquor, and write. Actually, my notebook, tons and tons of pages of stuff to do, ideas for various channels, 5 different platforms, 5, a writing platform, 2 YouTube channels. My baby, the project I'm proud of most is my podcast. That's what I put the most time and work into, but I'm ready to take it down on a dime's notice. If anything ever becomes too controversial or causes me too much heat or too many problems, I'm willing to take everything down and go under a rock. I could do it on a dime. I don't care. Yeah. Anyway, listen, enough about me. What are you guys up today on a Saturday night? Where you going? What are your plans? Anything going on you want to tell me about? Maybe you hear like jazz. Kind of this techno jazz, smooth R&B, old-time big bands, Benny Goodman, so many different genres. There's hip hop, salsa, barake. I can't even. I was a rock and roll guy, folks. I started off probably my first band. I think the first greatest hits I got was the Doobie Brothers' Greatest. That was a great album. The Doobie. I was like right in the end of the disco era as rock was becoming more prevalent. The Doobie Brothers' Greatest Hits, folks. Yeah, I liked that album quite a bit. I had that album. And then, in the early 80s, my teens, folks, as I got older, I remember I got it. It's ironic, I got into 2 different bands at the same time. They were 2 different, and one was dead already, but it was 2 different genres of music, but they both appealed to me. I was into The Clash and The Doors. The Clash and The Doors. Both it sounded weird, but it was my 2 favorite bands, Clash and The Doors at the time. And from there, I transcended into Led Zeppelin and Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, definitely Jimi Hendrix and Led Zeppelin are fundamental in my rock and roll upbringing. Jimi Hendrix, and the Ascensions went up. Deep Purple, Neil Young, Crosby, Stills and Nash and Young, Jethro Tull, 21st Century Schizoid. I forgot who the hell that was. The Who. You can go Rolling Stones, the Beatles. We can go on and on. Probably never end. Emerson, Lake and Play. Went on, and then I loved rock and roll probably from 1981 until 1995. It's 14 years. It's a long time to love rock. It's a long time to be a rock fan. So I guess I'm getting back into it again now, many, many years later, because 1995 was a long time ago, wasn't it? I stopped following rock and roll in 1995. That's why I lost touch with what was going on. I don't know too many 90s bands. I don't know bands today. I stopped listening to rock and roll around 95. I had already stopped listening to what was going on today in 95. So I'm kind of like in a time warp from 1987 before. I'm lost at rock and roll. And even I'm kind of shady in the 80s. I was never heavy into 80s anyway. I was just catching up. I was more into the 60s and the 70s. Anyway, 95. Okay, so you want to know why I lost interest in rock and roll in 95. I got a couple of albums. Stevie Wonder's greatest hits and Louis Armstrong's greatest hits. Two great albums. Got both of those, folks. And then from there, it just changed. All right, let's go on. What the hell? You're not going anywhere. You're still with me. We got to decorate the refrigerator. I know. See, this is my thing, audio. All right, 95. All right, then in 99, there was a station in New York at the time, 105.1 FM, jamming 105.1 FM. It was a Jay Thomas. Jay Thomas was an actor. He was in a movie. He was in Cheers. He was I think he dated Carla. Jay Thomas, whatever. He was a DJ for the show in New York on 105.1 Jay Thomas, Jammin' 105. He had the coolest mix of music. Coolest, he introduced me to songs I didn't know. I became familiar with a lot of genres. Thank you, Jay. I salute you, Jay Thomas. I know he's still out there. He was a cool guy. I used to listen to him. I love his show. And he'd be around New York in 1999. Jay Thomas. So, shout out to Jay Thomas. He used to play, the Spinners, the Stylistics, the Temptations, Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles, Michael Jackson. Like at Christmas time, the best Christmas soul and Motown, you name it. But I didn't know about this stuff before. Who was playing? But Jay Thomas played it, and he got me into it. And then that's how I wasn't into rock and roll. Then from there, and that carried me over probably to around 2009. Yeah, around 06, I kind of tinkered what was going on, like Blink 185, and I don't know what I listened to old Stone Temple and Lenny Kravitz, Mr. Cab Driver and Black Girl, and one of my favorite songs from 95 was Cake. He's Going the Distance. My favorite, 95. Check it out, Cake. He's Going the Distance. But anyway, getting back to 09, I was introduced to Biggie Smalls. I know who was dead, but I didn't know anything about Biggie Smalls until my kids got me into him in 09. Okay, my kids. We had a cat named Biggie Smalls, okay? My kids named them, whatever. Kids. Anyway, Biggie Smalls. What am I talking about? I got into rap in 09. MC Lyte. Biggie Smalls. Who else? Who the hell else? Well, I'm talking from the time I knew the music on the cable channel, like 205, whatever. I'm boring you guys. All right, let me get back to you. But I'm getting back into rock and roll now. I'm getting tired. Thanks.